Most people who try to stand out still stay invisible, and that's the part nobody talks about. They change the colors, they change the tone, they change the format, they post more, they say bolder things, they try to be different, and nothing changes, because being different is not the same as being recognizable. Recognition isn't volume, it isn't personality, it isn't confidence, it's placement. The brain doesn't reward effort, it doesn't reward originality either, it rewards clarity. If people can't instantly tell what you represent, they don't reject you, they don't disagree, they just move on. This is why so many ambitious people feel like they're doing everything right and still getting ignored. They're visible, but unplaceable. Unplaceable doesn't look like failure. It looks like views without traction, compliments without momentum, attention without conversion. It feels close, but it never compounds. That's where confusion sets in. Because you are showing up, you are speaking, you are trying to be seen. So when recognition doesn't arrive, you assume you need to try harder, or louder, or more often. But the issue isn't intensity, it's association. People don't remember effort, they remember what to associate you with, and if that association isn't obvious, visibility leaks. That's why some people can post less and still be remembered, and others can post constantly and still be forgotten. It's not talent, it's not luck, it's not timing. It's whether the brain knows where to place you the moment it sees you. And once you notice that, you start seeing why standing out fails so often. Because standing out without placement is just noise. Here's what most people don't realize. The brain is always asking one quiet question. What is this? Not is it good, not is it interesting, just what is it? And if the brain can't answer that quickly, it doesn't wait. It moves on. That's why effort doesn't save invisibility. You can be passionate, you can be consistent, you can be talented, but if people can't categorize you instantly, none of that sticks. So they see you once and forget you. They see you again and feel like they've never seen you before. That's not because you're forgettable. It's because there's nothing clear to attach you to. This is the pain of being unplaceable. You're present but not anchored, visible but not remembered. And the most frustrating part? Unplaceable people often work the hardest. They try to be helpful. They try to be well-rounded. They try to appeal to everyone because that feels generous. It also creates blur, and blur kills recognition. The brain doesn't store blur, it stores signals. Signals tell people, this is what this person stands for. This is why they matter. This is when to think of them. Without a signal, nothing accumulates. This is why trying to stand out backfires so often. People add more personality, more opinions, more layers. Thinking difference creates recognition. It doesn't. Clarity does. Difference without clarity just creates noise. Noise might get attention once, but attention without placement evaporates. This is why you can get views without traction, likes without loyalty, comments without momentum. You feel close, but nothing compounds because the brain still doesn't know where to put you. And here's the part most people miss. Recognition isn't something people give you. It's something the brain does automatically when a signal is clear enough. If the signal isn't clear, no amount of effort can force recognition. No amount of posting can override confusion. No amount of motivation can fix blur, so people stay stuck trying to be louder, when what they need is to be clearer. And that creates a new tension, because clarity requires choosing what you're about, choosing what you're not, choosing what people should associate you with, even if it excludes other things. And exclusion feels dangerous, because it means letting go of being everything. That's where most people hesitate, not because they don't want recognition, but because clarity feels like commitment. And here's why that commitment feels so uncomfortable. Clarity forces a choice, and choice removes hiding places. When you're unclear, you can tell yourself, I'm still figuring it out. I'm exploring. I'm evolving. That sounds reasonable. It also protects you from being judged too precisely, because the moment you become clear, people can finally decide about you. Not vaguely, not politely, specifically. Clarity means someone can say, oh, you're that, and that's scary, because that can be rejected. Blur keeps you safe from sharp opinions. When you're unplaceable, no one fully disagrees with you. They just don't engage, which hurts less than rejection. Blur keeps you safe from sharp opinions. When you're unplaceable, no one fully disagrees with you. They just don't engage, and that hurts less than rejection. This is why so many ambitious people stay vague longer than they need to. They're not confused, they're cautious. Clarity feels like locking a door. Once it's locked, you can't be everything anymore. You can't appeal to everyone. You can't be all things at once. You have to stand somewhere. And standing somewhere means standing alone at first. That's the trade nobody explains. Visibility doesn't start with applause, it starts with exposure. When you're clear, you risk being misunderstood, you risk being disagreed with, you risk being ignored on purpose, and that feels worse than being ignored accidentally. So people stay broad. They stay flexible, they stay adaptable, they stay invisible, because blur feels like freedom, but it's actually limbo. Limbo looks like motion, but nothing accumulates. You're active, you're present, you're producing, but there's still no signal. And without a signal, the brain can't build memory. It can't build association. It can't build recognition. This is why clarity isn't about confidence. It's about tolerance. Tolerance for being misread. Tolerance for being disliked. Tolerance for not belonging everywhere. Most people never build that tolerance, so they keep adjusting themselves to stay acceptable, and acceptability quietly replaces visibility. That's the cost of avoiding clarity, not failure, forgetfulness. And once you notice this, you start seeing why so many people feel invisible even when they're trying. They're not missing effort, they're avoiding precision, because precision feels final, and final feels dangerous. And this is where everything tightens, because once you see this, you realize invisibility isn't accidental. It's protected by blur, protected by flexibility, protected by staying undefined. You weren't unclear because you didn't know better. You were unclear because clarity costs something. Clarity costs approval. Clarity costs belonging. Clarity costs the ability to hide. And once you understand that, you stop asking why visibility feels hard. You start asking a harder question. If recognition requires clarity, and clarity requires standing somewhere, what does someone actually have to stand for to become unmistakable? Not louder, not more confident, not more different, recognizable. And why do so many people try to stand out but still remain unplaceable? Why does visibility seem so close, yet never stick? That question doesn't resolve itself, it sharpens. And once it forms, everything you watch next gets filtered through it.